Welcome back. We're here with war number 2 of season 25. This time we were going up against SAS. Shout out to Cradleman there at SAS. He used to be at X7V with me. He's a great guy. He helped me a lot with the officer duties when we were still in the same battle group, so all the most respect to him. I'm glad that he reunited with some of his folks at SAS. They're definitely a tough alliance, and I think last season AGT matched them twice, and they were 1-1 into those encounters. So hopefully that we have the desire here to end up on the winning side, to kind of break that tie from last season. This time I was assigned with Path 4 in Section 1, mostly to ramp up my Guillotine 2099, and Path 6 in Section 2. So here I'm going to use Guillotine against Claire. Not a whole of challenges with this fight. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is sometimes the spacing with her throwing the special ones, and she throws those quite a lot because every time that she fails to apply a bleed on me, she's going to gain power. So sometimes I'm not even going to try and dash at her immediately because she's going to have another special lined up. But obviously the only thing that you need to keep in mind is your spacing, because if you're too far away from her when you try to dax and dash back in at her, you can end up getting parried. That's something that used to happen quite often during the flow meta of wars a few seasons back, and definitely a lot of people learned their lessons from that moment. I did decide to go for at least one special 2 before I saved for my special 3 to finish her off, just to get a few more hits in. And since she's a rank 3 and my guillotine is just as a rank 2, I figured I would try to get a few more hits in case I can get to 100 to drop her faster. But nothing new here or exciting, so it's basically a repetition until I get her down to 5% and can throw my special 3. So I'll meet you back at the end of this fight. With that first fight out of the way, so basically I have my ramp up, and the reason that I wanted to find that opportunity to get my combo is because of this moment. Initially I was assigned to bring a white Magneto to fight him. However, I figured that using Guardian would probably provide me with the same solution, and I wouldn't have to keep relying too much on the parries. I also didn't want the pre-fight ability from Magneto to be the case where my attack would increase so much that I would be triggering rage. So I figured with throwing that regen boost at the start, plus the increased block proficiency from Guardian on your team, that would help Guillotine endure some of those block hits and not take as much damage. And that worked out pretty good for me here. I tried to not throw any specials because, again, I didn't want to run into the risk of triggering rage, since that threshold is super low. I wasn't super boosted attack wise. I had my health boost on, so that helped me to also stay on track of not triggering rage. But you see that there's not a lot of challenges here as long as you're patient and that you change your mindset and strategy to never hit his block. That will be the death of you if you end up doing it. So I just waited out here for my openings. I noticed that he was taking a lot of advantage of me being passive and holding block, quite a few times. He went for the 5-hit combo, and I didn't retaliate right away because, again, if my timing is off and I hit his block, then that would be really hard to come back from. But other than that, the fight is pretty much done at this point. Obviously, with Rage, you want to not throw your special 3 when you're at 5% because the node can bypass it. And I tried to get him as low as possible, however, I pushed him too far and he ended up dying. Well, as for Torch against this Longshot here, I don't think it's even worth mentioning anything. I had my Nova Flame on, and this fight just goes over so quickly. I was able to build up a lot of the power stings, and he went for his special 2 right away, and that dropped his health pretty quick. This is, as quick as it gets with Torch, so I'm definitely glad that fight went over quickly. Here we finally have this Immortal Hulk on Flow Intercept. Initially, we were planning to send somebody with Warlock for this fight because he's super safe and gets through this fight pretty quickly. The other alternative would have been my Guillotine 2099 with the ramp up, but as you guys saw, that wasn't possible because I ended up killing Mole Man and didn't throw my special 3, but not a big deal. The only other option that I saw going into this fight would be Guardian. Just because he has a high block proficiency, so taking damage on blocked hits, or I'm wondering even the direct damage from Immortal Hulk wouldn't have been a problem because of his energy resistance. However, the challenge with Guardian is his special 2 is the source of the biggest damage, and based on my duels, I wasn't thinking that would trigger Protect. So initially my strategy here was to go for the special 3, then ramp up back to my special 2 and then throw that and hope that it would do enough damage for me to end the fight pretty quickly. And that strategy didn't really work out because I think based on the potential of his damage, even though the greater source of damage from the special 2 is his passive shock damage, it still triggered Protect, so I ended up having to reshift my strategy here. This fight is going to be pretty repetitive and basically just me chipping in at him, so I'll just let this go and speed it up a little, and then I'll meet here towards the later part of the fight to kind of do a recap. He's keeping an eye on his gamma charges. That's really important because of that would drive how much he would regen, or if he would regen at all once I push him over the 1% limit. So because Guardian's damage comes a lot from the direct damage source, that helped me manage his gamma charges through the entire fight, and I got lucky that when I pushed him over the limit, he just died instantly. That's great because I didn't have a lot of time left on the clock, and that would have been hard to manage in a last minute push to get him down and grant a solo. So I'm definitely lucky. However, I wouldn't have done this fight again with Guardian because he's definitely not a safe option for this fight. We did win this war, so that's a great start to the season with 2 wars and 2 victories. My battle group didn't do as good as last time, but obviously there's still a lot for us to improve through the season, and hopefully we will take our lessons that we learned from this war and improve for the upcoming ones. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video.